So, the left wing's reaction to Kirk's murder is absolutely fucking atrocious. First, they just celebrated it. They celebrated the basically cold-blooded murder of just like a courageous Christian man with a family who strove to like tell the truth to the best of his considerable intellect. Next, the media not only did not acknowledge the stochastic terrorism and labeling him as a fascist and neo-Nazi and white supremacist, it should be noted, like, one of the bullets was directly inscribed with "Think Fast Fascist" or something like that. So, like, a direct one-to-one motive there from, like, Hassan and the Young Turks and all that other leftist dribble, directly calling him a fascist with neo-Nazi views and stuff like that. And we will get into the Young Turks as well, because I want to shit on Cenk in his early days of Armenian genocide denial. Any chance I get, I want to do that. But the media also tried to shift blame. Immediately tried to call the attack right-wing, saying he was like a conservative and came from a conservative family. Like this, despite the fact that he had moved out and was living with a male to female trans who he was in a relationship with. And of course the, aforementioned "Think Fast Fascist" bullet. I think we have a clear motive that the killer was like, in a relationship with a trans, and he thought Kirk's ideology was killing transes. And like the left, particularly people like Destiny, who just want to like normalize conservatives being in fear for reprisal violence. That's directly left-wing terrorism. That progressive stance that they're going to enforce progressive values on us with violence is directly left-wing terrorism. And those left-wing progressive policies, they're all shit. They all attack Christian ethics, Christian freedoms, all that sort of thing. They're fucking trash. Like, it's going to result in, like, America being destroyed to do it. It is suicidal to think that. And, like, the people that advocate for it are going to be the first killed. Like, it's just fucking absolutely insane. And that's the progressive position. Destiny outright stated he hopes right-wing people, speaking publicly, are in fear for their lives. It doesn't... Okay, terrorism's definition is basically the instilling of terror in people for political gain or political ideology. That's a one-to-one far-left terrorist stance, dude. You maybe want to be fucking more careful with that. That's fucking insane. But the whole left is just obviously fucking insane at the moment. They have just mass celebrated on social media the cold-blooded murder of like an innocent, good Christian family man. That was, of course, a political mistake. At this point, as a result of that, as a result of Charlie Kirks' martyrdom at the hands of this fucking degenerate leftist lunatic who was in a relationship with a fucking trans, just in a mire of mental illness and depression and depravity in like a relationship there. As a result of that, at this point you've got like more than 2,000 leftists that have lost their jobs. Like, that's not even counting the more gruesome events. Like, there was another extremely gruesome event that the right can obviously very effectively use for propaganda. There was like this fucking blue-haired, disgusting fucking teacher that showed school children footage of the Charlie Kirks assassination without the parents' knowledge. Like, shit like that, oof, that's real fucking bad. Like, no one likes that shit. that's gonna turn every single person on the left if that's used politically. And like the whole left has just been completely blind to that absolutely horrible shit. They're trying to frame this as a free speech issue, even though it's just clearly glorifying far left terrorism, like blindly, to the point where Destiny is outright saying he wants conservative public speakers to be in fear for their lives. That's like obviously progressive far left terrorism. The threat of violence enforcing ideology. Like that's 1-to-1. Oh my god. Like you can argue that every single individual who has voiced support for the assassination or laughed at it or joked around with it or whatever like that, with like in a positive way, like it was a good thing, you can argue that they're all terrorists because they're glorifying it, they're trying to normalize it. Like you can argue that they're all far left-wing terrorists. Like that's how bad the indoctrination in universities and schools has become. Just like an outright, unprovoked, brutal, cold-blooded murder of like an innocent Christian man, and you've got these absolute fucking lunatics cheering it on. And like all of this needs to be, punished. All this needs to, have justice applied to it. The school teacher that showed the children the footage of a politically motivated murder, who at this point, to my knowledge, has only been placed on leave, ought to be charged with like child endangerment, fired for like an obvious breach of educational policy and regulation, like civilly sued by all of the parents in that classroom for like negligence and breach of duty of care, like civilly sued again, or probably criminally charged again with the distribution of like harmful material to minors, and like just civilly sued again for like breach of parental rights. That lunatic should be absolutely fucking destroyed. Like it's obviously like shouldn't have a job and should have her life just completely ruined for that act. That is absolutely fucking vile. That is absolutely fucking disgusting and evil. Like, why would you show that to children? Why would you show an assassination to children? Like an example of far left violence. Ugh. That's just absolutely fucking gross. What is the matter with you? Like, that should be used politically just to condemn the far left, to just justify, like, arresting people for this shit at least door knocks. Like, I'm not advocating for political violence myself here, but if I were on a jury and one of those parents decided to shoot that cunt for, like, inflicting PTSD out of her left-wing ideology on my kid, or on their kid, on a jury, I don't think I could convict the parent that fucking decided to shoot her. Like, that's absolutely fucking vile and evil. For, like, you get crimes, right? Like, crimes like, thievery or, murders of passion or whatever, that are like self-defense, or a dude comes home and kills a dude fucking his wife, and like, you can understand where they're coming from with that sort of shit. The left-wing ideology here, like, I can't even understand where they're coming from. Why would you think it's a good idea to show an assassination to children? Like an assassination of an innocent Christian man to, like, children? What the fuck is the matter with you? You fucking lunatic? Oh my god. And, like, I think all these, progressive ideological leftists, these public figures that have labelled, like, Kirk as a fascist and use words like Nazi or neo-Nazi, like, around his name. Incorrectly, by the way. Incorrectly. He's not a Nazi, he's not a neo-Nazi, and he's not a fascist. But, like, trying to get people to, like, loophole, group associate the word Nazi with Charlie. Like, not outright saying Charlie is a Nazi, but implying that he has neo-Nazi views or stuff like that, or using the word Nazi in a sentence to associate the word Charlie with Nazi, like that sort of shit, they should be fucking civilly sued into the ground. Like the Young Turks and Hassan, like both of which I'm pretty sure have directly called him a fascist, or fascist adjacent, because they've called Trump a fascist. And if Trump's a fascist, Charlie's obviously a fascist. Yeah, like, also saying like Trump's a Nazi or has like Nazi policies or politics or neo-Nazi politics, like alongside Trump, implying that he also has it. I think those like evil leftist lying scum cunts should be absolutely ruined. They're absolutely fucking foul people. I obviously think Antifa and at this point anti-ICE far left organisations, along with certain pro-Palestine organisations, with funding from, you know, shady far left sources or funding from the aforementioned terrorist-friendly Qatar that was shielding Hamas leadership, I think they all need to get declared as terrorist organisations as well. I think the individuals in these organisations that have committed assaults at protests and counter-protests need to be given like 20-year sentences for terrorism. I'm at that point. And I think all of this might actually happen because we've got a political party in charge in America that can do it and probably will do it. I think they need to go through all the records at public schools and universities for these people that have voiced any sort of association with Antifa or labelled Kirk a fascist or anything like that incorrectly. I think they just need to go through all the schools, all the public records, all the Facebooks for all these teachers in public schools and universities, and I think they need to fucking fire the lot of them. Fucking get rid of them. You probably had this kid getting radicalized either online or at university with far left courses. I wanted to take a look at the courses he took at university, particularly the liberal arts courses, and I want records of that. I want to know if those teachers were teaching like this fucking lunatic assassin with the trans boyfriend. I want to know if they were teaching that kid if Charlie Kirk was a fucking fascist or a neo-Nazi or whatever. I think that's fucking reasonable. And I think if they're found to have done that, certain charges need to apply. Like if you're a professor at a school, that school should probably lose public funding. A school or a university, and you've got a professor advocating for far left terrorism. First of all, that professor needs to go to fucking prison for far left terrorism, agitation, etc. And then that school needs to lose public funding because whatever administration allowed that to happen doesn't deserve taxpayer money. Like, as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Now back to the character assassination of Cenk Uygur. Well, so seriously, like the fat, retarded, heart attack in the making of a man that, you know, named his brand the Young Turks after the political party responsible for the Armenian genocide, and who in early life also wrote papers denying Armenian genocide. So right off the bat, he is a genocide denier. He should have the credibility of a Nazi genocide denier. Right off the bat, he should be thought of as on the level of like someone like Nick Fuentes or I don't know, whoever on the far right denies like the Holocaust. Like Cenk should be in that boat right off the bat. He shouldn't be given any fucking credibility whatsoever. Like, right off the bat, he should at least be humble in his opinions. This is a man who has made some very serious mistakes, let's say. like, I've found out since that he has actually reversed his position on the Armenian genocide on his show once, and in an interview once with, I think it was Lex Friedman. But at the same time, he's a fucking shit progressive cunt liar. Like, and his organisation is still called the Young Turks, after the political party that, you know, conducted the Armenian genocide. So, I mean, can you really trust this guy's word? Like, I fucking wouldn't. Like, okay, if he acknowledges the Armenian genocide happened, wouldn't you, out of respect for, you know, acknowledging the Armenian genocide, change the name of your brand to something fucking else than after the political party that conducted said Armenian genocide? Like, okay. And also, the left wing, you know, they lie for power. They're just absolutely fucking trash. So, I mean, can you really trust him? Like, he said he believes the Armenian genocide happened. Apparently, he said it twice now publicly. Once in 2016, once in 2024. But, you know, leftists are fucking liars. And they just celebrated the murder of, like, an innocent, truth-telling, good Christian family man. So, I mean, I guess make up your own subjective judgment on how much credibility you want to give this fucking guy. Like, oh, I don't think I've ever taken a public position on denying a genocide. So, I mean, I've got more of a reputation than Chank. Most of us have more of a reputation than Chank. And we're not talking about, you know, Nazis, like proper Nazis denying how many people were gassed, saying the majority of Jews were probably killed in death camps, starved to death, rather than gassed in gas chambers. Like, the number that was gassed to death was probably not 6 million. Like, the vast majority were either shot in the back of the head in forests or worked to death in labour camps and starved to death in labour camps. It was only like a minority of that number that were gassed. But when you look at it like that, it makes the communists look equally as bad as the Nazis, and the communists don't like that, I guess. So they have to make it look like the Nazis were truly atrocious. Like, that position is not as bad as Chank's Armenian genocide denial of it didn't happen at all. So right off the bat, you've got Holocaust deniers that are more moral than Chank's Armenian genocide denial position, which he not only advocated but wrote a paper for before reversing his position, and his organisation is still called the Young Turks. But his idiot positions do not just stop there. Like, Chank has also said he's a cultural Muslim, like, which, what the fuck is a cultural Muslim? Like, that makes fucking zero sense. So he's an atheist Muslim, I guess. So according to the principles of a religion in an atheist way, he follows Islam, but said religion is wholly designed about submitting to God. So that's just a fucking retarded position to take. Like, what the fuck are you talking about with that shit? That's just, it's nearly a contradiction in terms. Like, oh, I believe in the total submission to God, but from an atheist perspective. Like, it's nearly a contradiction in terms. Like, this is what Chank believes, what he has stated publicly. And then it gets obviously worse. So the values from the, you might just say, okay, he believes in the models, the moral precepts put forward. So the ideal conduct of a man, which was Muhammad in Islam, who was also like a rapist and a pedophile. So I assume fat retarded Chank means he respects the model of a man and will attempt to emulate those values. Like, I don't know. Like, his position is so fucking stupid and contradictory, which is to be expected from like a fucking progressive leftist liar scumbag piece of shit who denied the Armenian genocide, right? Like, I don't know how he became such a popular figure on the left. Like, this guy's a fucking mess. And, like, it doesn't even stop there. Like, at one point, Cenk was retarded enough to think that he could take, like, Joe Rogan out in a fight. So, the fat, retarded Turkish dude who goes red in the face just from yelling, just from debates, whose audience, like, at least part of his audience, I'm firmly convinced, watches just to see if he has a heart attack that day or not. He thought he could beat, like, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and a Taekwondo former professional fighter black belt, who, like, is probably on steroids and testosterone, who's, like, a bow hunter and who, like, works out to failure all the time in order to silence, you know, voices in his head. Cenk thought he could beat that guy in a fight. Okay. No. So here's how that would go. If Joe was angry at you, and it was like a fight with like a clearly defined start and end point, about 20 seconds into the fight, he would head kick you and you would be knocked out. And that's if Joe was angry at you and just wanted to end it. If he was feeling kind, he'd like take you down and like choke you out within like a minute or two, and after that give you a pat on the back and said, "Oh yeah, good job," like, which he wouldn't, you know, he wouldn't mean at all. he would only be, you know, saying it to, you know, remain, you know, moral and not hurt your feelings too much. If Joe felt like I feel that, and was of the opinion that, like, you contributed to Charlie Kirks' senseless murder with your rhetoric and wanted to exact a measure of justice from you, Joe would kick the cunt out of your legs until the anger faded from you, take you down and hold you down until you got tired. When you were tired, he would flip you over, and I gotta say, maybe a minute and a half before you're tired, like, you do go red in the face from debates. When you were tired, flip you over, because you're tired and you can't do anything, tit fuck you in front of everyone to humiliate you. Obviously he couldn't finish. You are, after all, Cenk Uygur, you fucking ugly fat Turkish dude. And after that, leave you there on the ground for your inevitable heart attack. You would die in front of everybody just out of exhaustion. Oh, and by the way, like, Cenk's his positions on lobbying groups, like, he's like one of these fucking progressive retarded leftists that tries to set himself apart from the other progressive leftists by saying, no, I criticize lobbying groups and corruption in the government and all that sort of shit. Like AIPAC and, you know, their war and their unjustified backing of Israel and their war against, you know, basically terrorist Palestine. Let's be fucking honest about what it is, right? It's run by Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. They enjoy popular support. They control all the journalism that comes out of there. They've been caught in lie after lie after lie. It's obviously a terrorist state. The Palestinian flag is a terrorist flag. Cenk supports it because he's part of this conglomeration of retarded fucking Muslims that think Muslims can do no wrong. And they're usually at least quiet about Muslim terrorists. They support them at least with silence, if not outright advocacy. Like, I don't know, in Australia, maybe flying the fucking ISIS and Palestinian flags over the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Anyway, this guy that opposes lobbying groups like AIPAC this much, this former Turk retarded cultural Muslim who supports Hamas, opposes all Jewish influence in the government and all the conservative-backed lobbying groups for gun rights and everything like that. He opposes all of that. Didn't have a fucking word to say about Big Pharma mandating COVID vaccines. Didn't have a fucking word to say about taxpayer money going to Big Pharma for unwanted vaccines and vaccine mandates. Didn't have a word to say about, like, liberty then. And he's also had about 2 COVID shots, at least, according to AI. A heart attack is seriously on the table here, and in my opinion, that's the only reason why you should watch Cenk Uygur. As for Destiny, fuck, I'd expect for him, after his public acknowledgement that he wants conservatives to live in fear of violence, I'd expect a knock on the door. That's real close to fucking far-left terrorism support. Like, I don't know what else to say. That's pretty fucking out there. That's very fucking out there. The people like Hassan, who, like, openly just called Charlie Kirk a Nazi or a fascist, like, not even trying to couch it like the young Turks did in, like, titles and stuff like that, they should be got at through Twitch. The government should go after Twitch for not deplatforming Hassan. The government should go straight after Twitch, saying, in some sort of congressional hearing, why the fuck are you allowing a platform to a far-left terrorist sympathizer? Like, Hassan, in my opinion, has, like, given voice to, like, Houthis and shit like that. Like, fucking Islamic pirates that hijack civilian cargo in the area. Like, to my knowledge, Hassan has voiced pro-that opinions. And even, like, interviewed one, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, he should not have a fucking platform. That's pro-Islamic terrorism, that's pro-far-left terrorism. Like, at least he should be civilly sued by Charlie Kirk's wife for, like, defamation. The damages obviously are that Charlie Kirk was killed by a far-left lunatic that shared Hassan's opinions. Like, okay, yeah, like, maybe maybe the government should go after Twitch, and then Charlie Kirk's widow should go after Hassan. Maybe Charlie Kirk's widow should go after Twitch as well, civilly, I don't know. Go after the lot of them.